the roosters out in the hallway.
I think the first year I did this, there was about 6 people around the table, and now it's like
Well, we're growing.
press room.
Good to see you.
How we doing?
Well, you're back in a familiar colors, familiar sponsor, familiar team. Got the excitement for 2020?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm now a lot bluer than I was in previous years. We decided white race suits after 3 years aren't a great idea because they just show a lot of dirt. So we've made the suit bluer, we've made the car bluer. Hopefully we'll stand out a bit better, but it's great to be back. It's a bloody long off season, let's be honest. I think I haven't been in a car for 5.5 months, so if I hit the throttle instead of the brake, it's not my fault. It's just it's a long off season, and yeah, but it's been good. I've started some businesses. I've been busy in the UK. I've been training. I'm nearly back down to my sort of slightly post F1 weight. I've lost a few kilos. I've put on muscle. I've got fitter. And genuinely really excited to be back. I've given it some hard work this winter, and this is a big push this year.
Before I ask you what kind of businesses you started, I've seen a lot of boat videos, so I haven't felt too sorry for you.
That's I haven't an excuse for that one. My best friend got married in Barbados last week, so I was out there doing best man duties. But luckily, it did tie in with my annual trip out to Barbados, so it was all good. But it's the off season. I love the off season in IndyCar. I think it's such an intensive season, you do need that break, but maybe it's a little bit too long and the races are a little bit too tight. Maybe we need to stretch it out about 5 weeks, that would be a bit nicer.
What's your approach to the Aero screen? You looking forward to being in a car with it?
Yeah, some of you may know I'm a big advocate of that. I've been pushing it before F1 even got the halo, but since they've been using the halo, I've been like, come on, we just look like we stand out like a sore thumb. So I would have been happy with the halo, but it's nice to see that IndyCar have sort of gone the next step. We all know Felipe Massa got hit by the spring, and the halo wouldn't have stopped that. So the screen would have stopped that. So it's nice to have that push forward. I know we're going to come up against some hard things with it this year. One of them being the rain. One race that stands out to me was Detroit last year. Every driver got through 5 tear-offs on that one because of the oil and the wet. And we were all then having to manually wipe our helmets with the glove. So if that happens this year, I genuinely don't know what's going to happen because you will not be able to see. So I think certain races they'll let us take the screen out because I don't think there's a solution at this moment in time. But as we all know, if you want to push technology and push safety, you're always going to have to come up with a few issues. But it's the right step, and with enough manpower, we'll come up with a solution down the line to hopefully have a way of clearing the screen.
Questions? Joey?
Is there, since you're running kind of this partial season this year, is there a scenario playing out where you could potentially run the full schedule?
If I win every race up to Indy, then yes, but it's, let's be honest, I can't see that happening. I do think we're going to hopefully make a big step forward this year. I'm more motivated than ever to try and get a result. Put it this way, if we don't get a result, I don't know how much longer I'll be here, so this is the year to get a result. And I'm desperate to do that. I know I've got the ability to do that. I've definitely got the skill and the talent, and the team have the ability to do that. But I have to be true to my word, and life is to be enjoyed, and I don't enjoy oval racing, so there's no point in doing it. I did it for a number of years. I won on it. I had some pretty close to winning the biggest race in the world, but I wasn't enjoying myself. Indy is special, and that's why I do special. It can change your career, and it can give the team a better chance, and it's definitely a different venue. And the thing that I like about the 500 is you're not just thrown in the deep end. You get 2 weeks of building up to it. It's done the right way. You're methodical about it, and every driver gets 2 weeks of practice. When you turn up at Pocono and you get an hour's running, and it's just a free-for-all, that's the stuff I just do not enjoy. Like every driver strapping in, not really wanting to go flat, and I just don't like that. So I've given that bit up. It's a pleasure to go back to the Indy 500 this year. Fingers crossed we can go a few better than we did in 2017, but that race, as I see, is a bit of a different one from the others.
David?
Do you see it as different because the track's flatter, so it suits a road course driver better?
Yeah, you could say that. I've done more laps there than any other oval I've ever raced on. But I think the thing I like about it is you are taking dangers. You know, you're taking risks. We all know that. Don't get me wrong. It's the fastest track of the year, but it's done in the right way. And I think everyone builds up to it, and everyone's got a lot more respect there than they drive at other places. You watch the driving standards at different ovals. Indy's always a good driving standard. Even with people that are just doing one race there, they just literally do one race and it's the 500, they treat it with respect. When you go to these other races, it's like a free-for-all. These accidents that happen are just, you know, they could have been avoided if people just treated it with a bit more respect. So that's the reason why I'm willing to do that race. But I genuinely love road and street. That's what I was brought up on doing. I love coming to tracks like COTA. That's like my bread and butter. I love fast-flowing circuits, and that's what I love. And you've got to do what you love in life. So that's why I'm back doing the road and street races.
You mentioned these businesses. What are we into?
Nothing overly exciting. I love road cars, classic cars. I've started a car storage business. Everyone else collecting cars. Some people have too many and they can't put them someplace. So I think a lot of wives like me because their garage is now a usable space because they come and put their cars in storage with me. So yeah, car storage. I do a bit of property development. But I'm a bit of a wheeler dealer. I'll do anything really. I'm a bit of an entrepreneur, so I'll try anything. And I've always been told, my dad's always worked hard, and he's like, there's no such thing as a bad business idea. As long as you put enough effort into it, it will work. So yeah, I'm trying to make a sort of a stepping stone for when I stop racing. There's something there, because I think that's one problem with sport, is people are so devoted to it in their teenage years and their 20s, and then they stop when they're early 30s and they've then got nothing. So I'm trying to sort of combine that leave over phase.
I like that. Nathan.
You guys, with Carlin, really jumped onto the scene strong in 2018, and there's a lot going on last year. What is your sense of where this team is and what you guys, just as a whole unit, have been able to learn coming into 2020?
It's interesting. As I say, I haven't been in the car for 5.5 months, so you don't really know what you're learning. And there's a lot of, oh yeah, we're going to be better, but you don't really know that. We'll find out. I don't think we're going to find out at COTA because unfortunately I think it's going to be wet. But hopefully Sebring and St Pete, we're going to find out the hard work that we've done over the winter. But it's I'll be honest, it's a bigger challenge than we first thought it was going to be. You're up against teams like Roger Penske and people like Roger Penske, the Andretti organisation, the Ganassi organisation, and they've got so many years of knowledge that actually does pay dividends. And as we know, Carlin, probably outside of Formula One, the most successful race team in single seaters. So they know what they're doing, but it's still hard. The other thing is the schedule makes it hard. There's not much time between races to go off and test something in a sort of on a shaker rig. It's just basically to start the season to the end of the season. The only way you develop is being on track at the race weekend. But I think with my experience now, this is my 5th year in IndyCar. It's now the 3rd for the team. I do think we can make some progress. So I'm excited for that. And I genuinely believe in Carlin that we can do that. There's no reason why we can't. And I think IndyCar's in the best place it's been for a long time. There are teams that are winning that wouldn't usually. I think that gap's closed down, so hopefully that's going to give us a chance.
Last thing I'd ask you, a couple drivers new to the IndyCar series will be testing the next couple days in the Carlin program. What kind of scouting report can you give us?
I only learned of their names a few days ago, so they're pretty experienced drivers. Hopefully they love it. It's great to be working with new drivers. I always enjoy working with people because you don't know anyone until you sort of work with them. So we'll see how they get on and see how they get on. But it's a great track. We're a great team. We're easy to work with, and hopefully we'll see what their program's coming along with. But at the moment, it's just myself.
Okay. Enjoy the rest of your day. You got a lot of things ahead of you.
Yeah, but I'm lucky because I'm not doing some of the races. I get less rooms to visit, so it's all good. Cool. Thank you, everyone.
There is that.